Hello, I am Daniel Oscara, and I am the director of The Wise Guys intro, and here is my director's review and commentary. So, we're going to start off with the beginning of the film, where we start off with a inside shot of the car and all that good stuff when it comes to character one, Big Tuna, who's the boss, Bugsy driving the car, and a Lucky Luciano sitting in the back seat. So, obviously, they pull up to the park, they get out the car, and Bugsy gets killed.
There's nothing here.
Now, then it cuts to title slate and to the casino scene where they talk about the heist, and we come to realize later that Bugsy stole the money. So, this film is basically a thriller, obviously, and I guess the target audience would be more of like an adult kind of group when it comes to, I say, more of like an age range to about 18 and maybe 30, and to maybe even older. We'll find it a little interesting because it gets that excitement going on. And obviously, there has to be protagonists, and it's a little hard to find protagonists and antagonists when it comes to all the characters are criminals. So, I could say the more protagonists would be the main character, which would be Lucky Luciano. People also get mixed up. Protagonists think it's the good guys. Not all the time. Protagonists are, what's it called? The main character. So the main character would be obviously Lucky Luciano, which is we're going through his life and his experiences when it comes to the life as the mafia. And he obviously has a VO, and he talks about what's going on and who the characters are and why what happened.
My name is Lucky Luciano, and I'm a wise guy.
And all that good stuff. And when it comes to also showing the characters and all that stuff when it comes to the target audience, we also use a lot of mise-en-scène when it comes to the set, clothes, props, and maybe even vehicles, especially when it comes to the car. It shows you kind of like a Volkswagen. Maybe he's got money, which obviously the mafia has money. So when we use the clothes and stuff, when hitting that target audience, obviously mobsters wear fancy clothes when it comes to certain situations. So we'll have Big Tuna there with the blue suit, and Bugsy with the vest and the red little tag thing and his tie, and Lucky Luciano in all black, showing that he's obviously the one that's under the boss of Big Tuna. And that also helps with the mise-en-scène when they're sitting in the casino scene around with liquor, money, and card game, which they're gambling, with a slot machine in the background. So the soundtrack at the beginning obviously is very quiet to give an ominous type of sound, to know that something is to come up that's not good. And all you hear is the car engine, the door slamming, them walking through the gravel and the sidewalk. And then all of a sudden, the loudest thing is the gunshot. And you hear Bugsy hit the floor. And then it cuts to a VO, which is him explaining what the story is. And then we start off with the song by Frank Sinatra.
There's nothing here.
My name is Lucky Luciano, and I'm a wise guy.
And it goes, the world we knew, which also relates to the film because the only world that they know is the crime world. So that also suits that. At the beginning, it builds a kind of tension and fear because of how quiet it is. And then the rest of it kind of builds up a like, this is exactly how the story is going to go, and we're going through this life. And that's all I have to say for the director's cut and director's review. I think overall, for Nutshell Films, this was a very good intro. Obviously, a lot more can be done, and maybe a lot more will be done later in the future. And thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned.